Hello, people. Hello. Welcome to the live show for The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, which was our group book for the Studio Ghibli Readathon. Had a few technical difficulties getting on, as always, but thanks for sticking around and for watching. So we're currently, on my channel, but I have two other people here with me, one of which was a host last year, one of which is a host from last year and this year as well. So do you guys want to go around and introduce yourselves and talk about general feelings about the book at all?
Sure.
You want to go,
Do you want to start, Christine?
Sure. Hey guys, my name's Christine. I'm from the Roomies Digest. I read this book a year ago, and from what I can remember, I really liked it. I thought it was very in tune with Studio Ghibli vibes, in the sense of it being kind of like this bird's eye view of this epic kind of journey. And they have a little romance in there. They've got a lot of lore, lots of magic, and yeah, there's also world traveling, which I thought was really fun. So I think I ended up rating it like a 4 or a 4.5, something like that. But I had a really good time with this book. So yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. My name is Nicole from Bon Bon Reads, and I gave this book a 3.5 star. I really liked how this book gave Spirited Away vibes in the sense of the spirit realm and the bathhouse, which I compared to the movie. But overall, I would say I don't really remember a whole lot about the book besides the major plot twists. So I would say besides that, it was a good book, but I don't think it's my favorite.
Fair enough. Yeah, I know a lot of people for the readathon really enjoyed this book, which we're super happy to hear. Some people said that this was a new favorite or their brand new favorite book, so that's very cool for a lot of people. I feel more in the category closer to Nicole as far as like a 3-star read for me. I definitely still enjoyed it, and I think the really beautiful writing and the descriptions were a big part of why this worked a lot for me, as well as the big Studio Ghibli vibes. I definitely got big Spirited Away vibes, so it was pretty perfect for the readathon in general. Although I think it also stands for, it stands by itself. It doesn't really correlate to one specific movie other than the feeling of like there's a dragon, there's a bathhouse, this girl goes on a journey, she's relatively young. So I mean, very similar, but it definitely does its own thing. And as a retelling of a Korean myth, I think that's a pretty cool take on that. And for me also, I think like the big reveals at the end were shocking enough that I was like, oh, okay, all right, no, this was good, this was cool, this is great. So yeah.
I remember being like, what the heck at the reveals.
I had definitely rewinded a few times on my audio where I was like, wait a minute.
What? Yeah. I think because I was kind of feeling the same. Like I kind of was like, okay, this is definitely like YA, but like I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And then I think part of the reveals, and then like what happens at the very end, I was like,
Yes.
this is what I wanted from Spirited Away. My God.
Yeah.
Like I just felt so happy at the end, I think. And I know it's kind of, I guess it's kind of cheesy or like
No, it's wholesome. It was wholesome and
Yeah.
romantic.
I
Yeah.
was like, yes, this is what I needed. This is what I wanted. So, yeah, but I love Spirited Away too. So, not that other people who didn't like it didn't, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it definitely adds to the excitement of this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like in terms of the way that it was written, I feel like I could really see it adapted, like in a very Spirited Away similar sense. And like I wouldn't even really like view the characters the same way. Like I didn't see Chihiro or Sen in place of the protagonist, or Haku in place of like, the dragon or whatever. But like at the same time, it felt like it really suited Ghibli's like cute but beautiful style, like that mix of the two.
Yeah.
And I know somebody just actually said something about this. Yeah, I would love to see it made into a Ghibli movie, and there were times also to pause and go back. And like sometimes I would pause and go back because I was like, I really like that description. That's really cool. Like when they first go into the food marketplace and they describe all of them, I'm just like, that sounds delicious. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. This sounds so good.
It
And
was
then
very vivid.
there were like 3 or 4 reveals where I was like, wait a minute. Wait,
Yeah.
what?
It was very good. Like I remember the reveals being very good. Like not just with I guess like the main kind of cast, but then also like with the bad guy. I remember that and I was like, bro, what is going on right now?
Exactly.
Yeah, I ate
Really,
it up
really
as
cheesy.
well.
So do we want to get into, I guess, spoilery territory at
Yeah,
this
why
point?
not?
Let's do it.
Discuss. All right. So at this point, we are officially spoiling the book. So if you're just joining us right now, watch out. We're going to be spoiling this book. So hopefully you've finished it by now, and if not,
Get
you're
out.
hopefully okay with spoilers. So yeah, um, I guess just like not even really like spoilery, but premise wise, I really like um the concept behind this book as far as a girl kind of taking matters into her own hands from a society that sacrifices young women, which I like I think it's a trope like where there's like a quote unquote monster that needs like young women as sacrifices for something, and it's really similar to um like other books that I've read or like games that I've played where there's a very similar premise and then you find out like actually they didn't need this, that, or the other thing, but it was something else all along. So I really like those like that trope by itself and seeing that explored in here. So I guess that's the slight spoiler that it was not what we always thought all along. But I thought it was cool that it was kind of like all of these women um being chosen, and then there was a part relatively early on where they talked about like some women who wanted to be chosen because they were unhappy or because they had these like preconceived notions that it was this position of worth, but meanwhile the protagonist isn't like, you know, I want this. It's more like I'm going to take this place to save somebody else. So I feel like that already makes her stand um, you know, apart from the rest of the other women that were sacrificed in the past and make it seem like maybe she can make a difference down below.
Yeah. I think this is an interesting trope that like I'm noticing. It's not just in like I guess old lore, but just kind of like in everyday kind of whenever somebody wants to make up a sacrifice, it's always a woman. And I get it, like it used to be, you know, women were expendable, right? Because they like didn't own as much, they couldn't like do as much as men, like blah 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 blah. And I do think it's like an interesting point that in this book, like that's not even what would have saved people. You know what I mean? Like sacrificing a woman. And in some ways I think it's interesting that like there's obviously our main character who sacrifices herself, you know, and like makes the decision to go down below the sea to save her brother's lover.
Yeah.
Love interest? Lover. Anyway. So yeah. I really like this whole book. Like the more I think about it, I'm like, wow. The family ties peak. You know, fantasy peak. Lore peak. But I can see how like it would be because this kind of writing style is like where you're basically reading like an epic kind of like folklore fantasy tale, you know what I mean, where like you're an audience member on the outside of it almost,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have a lot of experiencing, it's a lot of telling, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um
That's kind
and
of
it,
true.
and it just it reminds me of like someone telling a story almost, you know, to like
Aw.
and
I could see that.
yeah, and I think you have to be a specific kind of person to like that, because if you don't like that, then obviously when you read it, you're gonna be like, all right, you're telling me a lot of stuff, but like I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, maybe that's my problem is like I'm somewhere in the fence between like really like enjoying a writing style where it evokes a feeling and you're like, okay, this is great. Like I kind of feel like I'm there. I can be in the marketplace. I can see this giant jade turtle and the ground like lights
Right.
up with different animals or something when they step on it. I'm like, that's very cool. But then other scenes I was like, I'm bored. I want to
Yeah.
wait for something to happen. And then eventually something would get my attention again. So I think for me, it was kind of like fading in and out of, being in the moment and then just feeling like there's a lot of stuff happening. I don't really understand why you guys are doing that thing, but okay. And now we're here.
Yeah. It's definitely like a specific writing style. So if you don't like it, then
Yeah.
you're not gonna like it. But it reminds me actually of Keeper of Night. If you guys have read that book, I feel like you have, Rachel, maybe.
I have.
Yeah. It
It's
reminds me of
interesting
that
to say
writing
that.
style. What?
I definitely liked this book better than Keeper of Night. Um, but like writing style wise, I thought there was maybe it's just like what they're describing because I found the like more fantastical elements of being in this spirit world more interesting to read about.
Yeah.
And it has been a while for me since I read Keeper of Night, but
It just
yeah.
kind of reminds me of like in that story too, it's more telling. Like you get
Mm,
like a lot of the lore with the Keeper of Night and you're introduced to a lot of like the underworld and stuff. And
yeah.
so I think that's why it reminded me. Obviously the content's different, but
I
it's
guess it's a
very
bit
similar.
similar, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's why I liked having the audiobook. It made it feel like I was listening to a story being told, and all I knew was a campfire. That's such a cozy way of thinking about it. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that makes sense too for like a folklore retelling that it has that telly style. So it's also not like a criticism of the author. I think it kind of fits what she's
No,
talking about.
yeah, because I actually just read another Axie Oh book, and I was a little nervous because I was like, "Is this gonna be a telly book?" Because it's basically like a book based on a K drama. Like this girl is like experiencing a K drama in real life, right? And it's called XOXO, and it was so good, y'all. I was like, "Wow,
Oh.
Axie O is a writer!" Like, so, so now I'm like, I think I just kind of like, yeah, I think that was like a style that she chose for this book.
Wow. I was just thinking, like, oh, I really want to read other books by Axie Oh, because, I mean, that's the thing is, like, I came to the show being like, it was a 3-star, but then as I was, like, just thinking about it for, like, 5 seconds, I was like, wait, that was a really good plot twist.
Yeah,
Are we sure this is only a 3-star? Maybe it's a 3.5 for me. I don't know.
that's kind
We'll
of
have to
low
wait
key
for
how
it.
I felt when I said 4, and then I was like, wait, I think it's a 4.5 because I just remembered like all the stuff that happened in that book, and I was like, wait,
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, I
Good.
totally forgot about how satisfying the ending was.
The ending? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yo, when we got to the end, I thought it was over. I was like,
Me too.
immediate 2-star. Like immediate 2-star. Like I'm so mad.
Like,
And
you
then
can't leave
obviously
now. Like, everything was great, and then, no. And
it
then
was so sweet.
we got like this whole wraparound, thank God.
My little romantic heart. I was like, please give us what we want.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, I had a fun time.
It was definitely a good
Yeah.
time.
But
um,
in response to what you were saying earlier, Rachel,
yeah.
I can see like how you were feeling about how certain parts of the book would kind of catch your attention and the other parts kind of drag. It
Mhm.
definitely has like the Studio Ghibli vibe in that it feels like more of like a slow-paced fantasy, but there's still a lot going on, but it's a very relaxing read. So it's not like, nail biting on the edge of your seat the whole time. It's
Yeah.
more
Like not
slow and in a
Yeah, I
nice
mean, like,
way.
I feel like even the parts where we were meeting like antagonists and people were getting attacked, I wasn't like relaxed, but I wasn't upset. I was just like, it's gonna be fine. It's a Studio Ghibli book type of
yeah.
deal. Like, it's gonna be fine. Despite the fact that at least half of Studio Ghibli movies are always about war, it's gonna be fine. I know what the vibe is. It's okay. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Um, and I mean, like, frankly, I don't even like really remember why everybody was getting attacked at that point. So maybe that's just me not quite 100% even getting why that was happening.
I think
But
it was a
um,
misunderstanding, wasn't it?
I guess. Yeah, I
Like
mean, I think there was something like that where, like, they came to attack and they were like, "No, it's not that situation, it's something else."
like the one dude was asleep, right? And then
Yeah.
they were like, "Protect the king," and they were like, "While he's asleep,
Well,
we can
I
take over."
remember, like, the very beginning, there was, like, the assassin attack because of that, so I remember
That was
that.
wild. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, because, like, for, like, the first I don't know, first part of that scene, they were just like, "This is the sleeping dragon king, and here's his deal, and here's his story, and, like, I'm gonna read you this nice little bedtime story and get relaxed, and it's okay." And then all of a sudden, these assassins come in to slit your throat, and you're like, "Okay, I don't know where this came from because 5 seconds ago, I was about to go to sleep with how
5 seconds ago, we were
calming
fine.
this was in a good way, and all of a sudden, I'm stressed." But later on was when, like, somebody attacked, like, a whole bunch of people came and they were like, "Oh no, they're invading." And she had to make that deal that was like, "Call them away if I give you this memory."
Mhm.
And I don't remember why they were attacking everybody exactly, but I think it was like related to like them sort of like ravaging the sea because the Dragon King wasn't there to like defend the area, and that's part of why the people on land were sacrificing girls, because it was like, well, he must be angry, so to not incur his wrath, we have to give a bride. And
Yeah, 'cause
meanwhile, it's
I
like,
think it was all about power. 'Cause
yeah,
he's like the ruler of the realm, and I think everyone who kind of attacked was trying to get the power. And then I just remember obviously the one goddess was trying to like change up her whole entire life.
I guess they worked for her because
Yeah,
she was able to like
Yeah.
call them away.
influence.
I didn't remember if there were like multiple factions that were sort of vying for that position of power,
I
because I
think
know she
so.
was like kind of a contender, or at least like somebody that had some
There were
semblance of
more than
history.
one.
Yeah, I think they all were kind of like trying to gain control.
Yeah, I just don't really
Um,
remember much about anybody else except for her.
yeah, from what I can remember, I think it's kind of like Studio Ghibli, right? Like the evil person is almost always kind of like a little misunderstood, a
Hmm,
little
a little
like
bit.
at least in like Howl's Moving Castle and in Spirited Away, like the evil person ends up being kind of like put in their place and like made into a morally gray slash good character almost.
Well, I also really liked,
Mm.
speaking of like the Studio Ghibli-ness of it, I also really liked that in that scene where she's like, will you call them away if I give you this memory? She's
Mhm.
tricking her, but we as the audience don't 100% know what's inside of that until that moment happens. And I feel like that kind of fits the Ghibli vibe, because oftentimes like Ghibli movies don't spell everything out for you.
Mhm.
Like they will show you what's happening and then you'll just sit there like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty smart. Okay, okay." And like you have that the same, like I don't know, even though there's some sort of like inner monologue happening in this book, you kind of just see events unfold in a row. Like there's not a lot of contemplation of like, what am I going to do next or whatever. Even though you see that on the characters' faces, it kind of feels more like you're just living in that moment in a Ghibli movie because it happens very quickly. um and I feel like there are kind of like those little like sort of switcheroo moments of like, oh, if you think about it this way, here's what we can do instead to still fulfill this, I don't know, agreement. Um, I kind of think of like Yubaba in Spirited Away, or like the Witch of the Waste in Howl's Moving Castle, and
Mhm.
like not really specific scenarios, but just like that type of vibe of like having to trick this person who's much more powerful than you, like this much older, wiser woman, and how do you handle that? And it's like you're kind of playing by their rules, which she managed to do in that scene. So, I mean, that was definitely a very cool moment to have her sort of like take that power back. But of course, also like I think the standout things are the plot twists for me, at least.
Mhm. Yeah, the plot twist and the world.
Yes.
I think just her kind of being transported into this world of spirits was like one of the coolest things to me because I
Yeah.
just really enjoyed the world. Like I liked being in it. And then, of course, all the craziness that happened.
And also, I love the red string of fate. That's always very fun.
Plot twist on plot twist. It's like, golly day.
So, can I bring up one of the plot twists that I was actually surprised by?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
kind of had like an inkling, but I wasn't for sure. And then when I found out that Dai, Mickey, and Mask were all related to the main character,
I was so surprised.
yeah, it was just like when she went to the place where she was supposed to meet her family, and it turns out it was them all along, and
I died.
It really
was
is the
so
friends we
cute.
make along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was truly found family.
Like, literally. And then they're like, we would never let you go by yourself. And you find out, like, the grandpa is the baby or whatever. And you're like, Grandpa, what are you doing?
Was it a grandpa that was the baby?
I don't know. It
No,
was somebody.
the grandpa was the young boy, and then the baby Mickey was like her brother's daughter. That
That passed away. Like,
Oh,
I
there you
really
go.
love the age. Yeah.
That was sweet, too. I was like, not your niece.
that she never met.
And that she like thought of so fondly, where she's like, I wish she had lived, I would have protected her and taken care of her. And then they were there.
You did, girl. You did.
Yeah.
That was so sweet. Yeah. Wow, I really love that book.
Yeah, that scene made me kind of sad because I think it's Dai who's the grandpa, and he said that he was gonna wait for his wife, aka her grandma, but then he came down from heaven so he could be with her niece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's got to take care of her.
It was very wholesome.
Very sweet.
Yeah, that was honestly peak. I was like, wow. If I cried, this would be it. This would be it.
I was trying to find out who they were exactly, but yes, I love that twist. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one I wasn't expecting there to even be a twist about. I thought they were just going to be like these random side characters that are supposed to be sort of the.
Honestly, yeah. I was like, who are they?
I thought they were supposed to be like random comic relief or something, and they're like they randomly have a baby and like that's their gimmick, and I was like, okay, like I'm not into this. Like what? I don't know. Like I like side characters to do something in the plot that has them bring value to the story. So I had no expectations for them to do anything other than just accompany her. And then in the end, I was like, wow, I can't believe I like. Okay, I'm impressed. I take it.
Yeah, that baby. I'm not gonna lie, it was random in the beginning.
Yeah,
I was like, ma'am, what are we doing with the child? What's going on?
Yeah, because also wasn't the grandpa just like stealing dumplings like left and right? Like,
it gave rebellious kid energy.
Yeah, right? Just like who's this little like kleptomaniac child?
But like he was always like stealing for the baby. Like I literally was dying the whole time. I was like, this has to be like his little sister or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like when I was reading it, I was like, he has to have something more going on with this child than just he picked up a random orphan and was like, I'm taking care of you. Like I don't know.
It was more all along. Oh, also I was very surprised earlier on to see like the girls that were sacrificed and that they were still like in the spirit world. So Mina got to meet I forgot her name. I thought it would start with like an S. It wasn't like a Sam, but it was something like that. And I remember that she
Shim Chung?
Maybe it was Shim, yeah. Wow,
well, she was alive still, I think. The one that was living with the death god.
Oh, there's her.
Yeah, all I know is that she denied the one guy, and I was like, "This is the drama we all needed." Oh my god, I can't believe she said no to him. He's fine.
He's fine.
Like that doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
I thought there was a different person.
There is. I'm trying to find her name.
Okay.
I was like, y'all got to take this one because it's been too long.
It's been a whole 12 months.
Yeah, I'm like,
Hieri?
Oh, maybe because it was like the person that was always really nice to her when she was growing up, and I think she had to like help her get ready. to be
Yeah.
sacrificed. And she was like, my sister was sacrificed once because she was really unhappy and basically she was depressed. And then this girl was like, it's my turn to be sacrificed. And Mina was helping her get ready at some point.
Yeah, it was Hiri.
Oh, okay.
I could be spelling or pronouncing her name wrong.
Oh, it was the girl right before her, right?
Yeah.
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah, that was wild because she was like, huh, sacrifice.
Yeah. It's like,
Doesn't
you're
sound fun.
still right here.
That's great.
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of cool to be able to still meet those characters. So they weren't just these sort of like nameless,
Abstract,
faceless
yeah.
women from the past, but like you actually kind of got to hear a little bit about each of their stories. For the ones that at least Mina had experienced, and then see that they had kind of a place in this spirit world.
Yeah. I was living for the one girl who literally went with the death god. I was like, she really came down here and said, I'm a rule the world. Like I don't know. I really liked that plot line, even though I know she obviously hurt what's his name's feelings. The main guy's feelings.
Hey,
But...
it was meant to be for the main character.
And he knew
Exactly.
it too. He knew it. He was like, sweetie, we've been attached the whole time. Anyway, yeah, Red String of Fate, always love that.
Yeah. Wasn't
Also,
there something near the end with the Red String of Fate where like they managed to like get the red string off, but then it like kind of just like went back in the end?
Yeah, that was I think the first half where they were trying to break it and it wouldn't.
Well, yeah, I remember at the beginning they tried to break it and they ended up having to put her spirit into a little bird. And then eventually like she couldn't speak because her soul and I guess her voice and everything were kind of like sealed in the bird. And then eventually they managed to put it back onto her, but then they were like, you have a limited number of days down here because alive people aren't really supposed to hang out in the spirit world. But I thought near the end, there was something to do with like the red string of fate where he was like, but it's like we undid it and whatever, and she's like, but I still got it and I'm still tied to you, or something like that.
I think I vaguely remember this. I just remember her wanting it at the end.
Like wanting to be tied to him?
Yeah. And he was like, you gotta go. Like, he was like, if I let you go free, you know, if it's meant to be, you'll come back. And that's like, that was like him. And then she was like, but I don't want to leave, you idiots. Like, I just want to stay here with you. I wrote you every day for 365 days.
And he didn't answer at all. He didn't come.
That was crazy, y'all. That was the most, I think I was the most stressed at the very end. I was like, if this mother effer does not show up.
It was so sad because her parents would dress her up and then she would be like waiting there for him and he would never show up.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing, okay? But then we realized like he literally lost his memory.
Yeah. Which of course is like another great trope, but such a sad one where like they love each other, but he forgets everything and then has to like figure it out and be like, I don't know why, but it's always been you.
That was the most romantic part of this whole entire book, I swear. He was like, I don't know what happened, but I know something happened and I keep seeing you everywhere and now I've found you and I have no idea who you are, but I'm so in love with you. So
yeah, that was really I don't know how I felt about that when the fake sea god, the emperor, came to her and proposed. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh snap.
Because I thought I was like, is she gonna go for it or is she gonna wait? Like, what's gonna happen? Because he was like, I love you, and everybody's like, are you gonna marry the whole emperor?
Yes, I was like, please get out. We've been waiting for this the whole entire book. Anyway.
I was so stressed. I was dying when they found themselves connected by the red string, especially Shin's reaction.
Yes. I'm like, y'all are so silly. You knew this was gonna happen. Actually, you know, no one knows their real fate, but
we do.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Anyway, yeah, it was wonderful. I really loved it. Really loved it. Not me like wanting to reread it now.
Yeah, I feel like I need to listen to it on an audiobook because I definitely love fairy tales and folklore. So I feel like maybe reading it on an airplane just maybe wasn't the vibe. Like maybe I need to hear some calming lo-fi music or
some
Hip hop
Ghibli
needs to
things.
study too.
That's my go-to.
Not Nicole being like, haha, how'd you know? Yeah, I feel like I want to buy this book now. Because the reason why I read it a year ago, y'all, is because I read it as a NetGalley book. That's why it blew me
I
out.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got it at NetGalley and I was like, oh, it seems like Spirited Away. I'll read it. And then when I read it, I was like, best book of the year, 4.5 stars, like out of this world. And I think I guess those are the best kind of books where like you're not expecting much and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I have never felt anything more than when I was reading this book.
I've never felt more alive.
I was living. I was screaming at the end of that book. I remember now. I remember.
I was also reading it like while I was at the beach or like listening by audio. So I was like close to the water the whole time. And I was like, he's in there.
That's like the perfect setting.
What a vibe.
He's in there.
What a vibe. He's in there. He's waiting for me.
He's in the waves. I have to go.
Go snorkeling.
Not me, like, I'm going to bring this up again, but not me literally being like, you are the Little Mermaid in all your Instagram photos.
Did you see my caption for my Instagram post today?
Wait, which one?
The post today?
I don't think I saw the caption, but I like the photo. I'm a fake
fan.
I
also liked.
What was it?
Oh, I just got it.
It was a reference from your favorite video.
Oh my gosh, read it, Nicole.
Talking out loud on a, what's that word again? Beach?
That's for the true fans. I bring this up every time I'm on live with Rachel, but if you guys haven't, go to her channel and look for the Little Mermaid rendition video that she has on her channel. It's like peak entertainment. It's on my favorites list.
Christine has a playlist of only this song 12 times in a row.
Oh my god, that's a commitment.
I'm like the original
obligated to bring it up once per live.
Obligated? It is a true treasure of this nation. Okay?
It is a true pleasure of mine to spread the good word.
Yeah, I'm spreading the good word. Do you not want to be entertained, people? Anyway.
Are you not entertained?
Just my thought. Just my thought process, but whatever. Anyway, not to bring up that video again.
After bringing it up.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Lord.
Well, this definitely was like not like the book of the summer, like, oh my god, everybody's the greatest book ever of the summer, but I mean, this felt like such a great summery read. Like, it's just beachy without being, I don't know, like, I consider a beach read to be kind of like, you don't really think that hard about it, you're not that invested in it, but it's easy to read. And this was like easy to read, but also I was still invested in it and interested in everything by the end. So not a textbook beach read, but a great book to read at the beach. And to just enjoy in the summertime and be like, that could be me. I could go in the water. I could find him. Where's my red string?
Turn up where they walk. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, obviously we had our issues with it. Because, like, when we started this live, we were like, yeah, I don't know. Was it entertaining?
But now I'm like, maybe I should just raise my rating right now to 4 stars. Because honestly,
I don't know.
I know some parts of it were overly repetitive, though, which I do remember from my review. Because they just kept saying, like, something, the sea god, something, the sea god. I am the sea god's bride. Sea god's bride. That's me, I'm the sea god's bride. Like, every few paragraphs, like, over and over and over again. So it was like a little bit too much in terms of that, but the rest of it was still great.
I have to think it's because it was a YA. Like, no? Like, I just remember distinctly when I was reading it, I was like, okay, chill on this rating because this is a YA book. Like, this is not an adult fantasy. You need to chill, Christine. And then once I kind of got that in my head, I was like, I'm having a good time.
And then by the end, you were like, best book of the year.
Best book of the year.
Best book of the year.
Best book of the year. Yeah, it was good. It was good. And, you know, can confirm Axie Oh is a good author. Because her other works slap.
like, not to shade a completely different book, but I remember reading The Wizard of Earthsea when I was in, like, 8th grade, and they eventually adapted that into a Ghibli movie called The Tales of Earthsea, and I remember at the time, probably because I was forced to read it, but I didn't really like that book.
The Tales of
I had
Earth.
to read it twice just to understand what was going on in the book for, like, my book report or whatever for the coming years. So I was kind of, like, a little bit salty when they made a Ghibli movie out of it, where I was like, is this worthy of being adapted to a Ghibli movie given the pain that I personally went through? How did Hayao Miyazaki not know about that before he decided to adapt this movie? But I feel like this would be a great,
It's
like, we already said
documented in
this.
my book report.
I can't believe not to, you know, bring it all the way back around to the beginning, but I feel like this would just fit so well for a Ghibli movie compared to, like, a lot of other books that I have read in the YA genre. I just feel like this one has, like, the imagery, it has the plot that's there that's, like, not the most, like, straightforward continuous thing that you predict everything, but it has, like, enough twists here and there while also still being, like, within the realm of the logic that exists inside the world. It has beautiful imagery in terms of the writing, but also in the world building itself that would just be really fun to explore. And, like, character wise, it just feels like it makes sense. Like, you could see, like, the death god showing up, you could see the sea god and all the sea god's brides, like, being animated on the screen and everything. So it just feels perfect. Like, Ghibli, when?
Perfect, you say.
Maybe it's a 4-star. I don't know. Maybe it's at least 3.5.
I say give it a day. Think about it. Come back to it. You know?
All right. Let's all read it again.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it probably is like a 3.54. But I don't know. Never mind. I take back everything I said. It's a 4. 4.5. Not a 3.5. What am I saying?
Best book of the year.
It was a great read. It was a great read. And like I was struggling with YA for a while. I was like, what am I doing? Like, well, I'm not enjoying anything. And I read like that and Beasts of Prey, which also was another great YA from last year.
Yeah, I feel like it really depends on
Your mood.
the content of the story beyond, like, regardless of which genre it is, like, the story really has to be there to sell it.
Yeah.
And it was here. It was here.
Wait. Oh my gosh, wait. Look at the comment.
Imagine the underwater world anime in Ghibli form similar to that of Spirited Away. The battle scene would be amazing on screen. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
This is like, it's a mixture of like Spirited Away and like a little bit of Ponyo because it's underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's amazing. And like the plot twist, like in Howl's Moving Castle, you know?
Yes.
When you're like, wait a minute, he's who?
It's truly like all those movies just mashed together, put them in a little blender,
It's
and
a
then you get
vibe.
this book.
It's a vibe.
It's great.
Really, what more else can you say? Read it.
Read it. Read it and weep with us.
I'm interested in the audio because obviously I did not read it on audio, so like maybe I'll do that and see what's up.
I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. I think it might be read by Emily Wuzeller. I'm not 100% sure because it's been a while for me.
So for us silly people, who is that?
She narrated Poppy War and a
Ooh!
lot of other books too.
Oh wow.
I hope I'm not lying, but I think it was Emily Wuzeller. I'll check.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take it seriously. I'll do it. Emily?
Is it Emily Wuzeller?
Yeah, the Poppy War on audio was top tier. I'm not gonna lie.
Did the audio narration recording? No, don't make me sign up for Audible. Just tell me the truth. What's happening?
What happened to the original plot of the movie? I think another thing I really like, which this is like a given in fantasy stuff, were the dragons.
Yeah.
I know that in like European culture. They kind of took the dragon and they made it like a fiery breathing thing. But I really like the kind of like original rendition of the dragon where it's like a water dragon, does like watery things. That's like kind of low key how the dragon represents in the Poppy War series. But yeah, I don't know. Something about it.
Also, I was wrong. It's not Emily Wuzeller. I lied. It's Rosa Escoda. So it's not
Wow.
her. But it was still good.
It was so good you thought it was her.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
It was actually that good.
Yeah, because Poppy War audio stopped here. I was like yelling at my phone. I can't believe this. Anyway.
Also, Lisa the Book Cat said, "Oh wait, the ending when they finally meet again." Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So satisfying.
Like it truly is. Like I meant everything I said. Like it's exactly how I wanted Spirited Away to be. Like I know Spirited Away, we got the end that was like awesome. Like he's a freaking water thing. Like it's fine.
Like it all makes sense for Chihiro being like this young girl who like disappeared into this fantasy land for a little while, but like you wanted them to be together.
Yeah, like why can't we get an epilogue like in any romance book where like, they're like 10 years later and then they're just walking down the street hand in hand together. You know what I mean? Like just give me that. Just give me that.
Tell him. Exactly. Where's this? The fact it was also like, don't turn back, don't even turn around, don't look at me, just run out the door, run up that hill like Kate Bush, don't ever look at me ever again, and then she just had to leave.
Yeah, that's from like the Greek myth. Is it Orpheus and Eurydice, whatever? But essentially, like, it could be also not Greek, but this is the one that I'm remembering, okay? He's literally coming out of the underworld. He went to go get his girl, Eurydice, or however you say her name. And he's like, the one condition is you can't look back, because if you look back, she's going to stay there forever.
Oh, yes, okay? I know what you're talking about.
And so he's guiding her and he's like, follow behind me now, follow behind me. We're almost there. We're at the end of the trail. Hades is not going to catch you today.
But he can't see her.
Worried. Yeah, he gets so worried because he can't hear her behind him that he just like casually look like it's not even like it's like a very casual like,
are you here?
He disappears immediately into the underworld. And that man is sad for the rest of his life because that's how Greek tragedies go.
Yep.
That's how they go. But every time there's that kind of a trope where it's like, don't look back, I get so anxious because I'm like, y'all, they're going to look back. And he did so much work to go get her. Like he literally traveled through the underworld. He was playing the lute for these like crazy, like fucking spirits. And they were like, what are you doing down here, dude? And he's like, I'm here to get my girlfriend because she died. Sorry, I'm going on a rant. Anyway.
I had to imagine that he said it exactly that way. Just head in the hand. She died.
And she died in a tragic way, You know how what happens in Greek mythology, people really just die over nothing. Like Zeus, he has sex with somebody, and then they're like, yeah, she's got to die.
She's got to go.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's guys, I cannot take the lighting.
I'm looking at this like, what's happening?
Nicole, you're looking a lot like the Sith Lord right now. So
sunglasses.
Go on to Star Wars. Thank you very much. But yeah. Honestly, you should take a picture. This is like your like Instagram post. You're like,
yeah.
No.
I'm like, truly. Some people like gotta take the post. They wait for this hour with the blinds on purpose.
So I don't know if this is what they had in mind, but
call me Sith Nicole.
Sith Coley? Never mind. Never mind.
We're trying.
Well, do we have any last minute thoughts regarding this wonderful book that we all actually really enjoyed?
Yeah, remember when we came on here and we were like, man. I'm gonna keep talking about it.
It's like we keep remembering all the things we like about it.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think that 1 year ago, 1 month ago, and 1 week ago, we were all like, I don't really remember this book. And then as soon as we walked into here, we were like, do you remember when this happened?
Yeah. I mean, I think moral of my story is I'm gonna go buy it.
And this is what it takes, people.
Gospel truth. Honestly, just talking about a book and like just know that Christine's gonna buy it afterwards.
That's how you know it's that good.
That's a rave review.
So, and that's a rave review. You heard it here first.
You heard it here. Well,
Yeah.
I think I'm at least raising my rating to a 3.5. I guess I just didn't write it down in my review, but I think I will officially raise to at least 3.5, if not maybe 4.
You're crazy.
That is my consensus after all of this.
You're a psycho. I've never seen anything more psychotic coming from Let Me in the Library, Miss Rachel.
It's never happened before. Can you believe it? I raised a rating instead of lowering it.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna come on here. I thought like I was the like lover of the book when I was gonna come on here. So like I was ready to fight for my life. It wouldn't be the first time, you know, not with you two, but I really thought y'all didn't like this book a lot, and I was like, okay.
Well, I will say, I know Darian did not like this book, and she was like, it's like she like woke up and she did something, then she fell asleep, then she'd wake up and do something, then she would just go back to sleep again, and she was like, I don't understand what this girl's doing. And I guess she was not really like feeling the vibe as much as everybody else. It was more concerned with what's the deal with this girl.
I can see that.
But luckily, it seems like most people that had to read this book for the readathon ended up really loving it. So I'm happy to hear that in general the consensus seems to be pretty positive for this very cool book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to throw Darian completely under the bus. It's just like I'm usually that person that's like lowest rating. So I'm happy to be in the majority this time.
I know. I'm so impressed because I feel like normally you don't give books higher ratings.
My rating this year has been like pretty high for most books. Most books is like just 4 stars all around, at least. But
well, and I mean, I think like it makes sense. We already talked about why people probably wouldn't like it, so
yeah,
you know, it's not for everybody.
And that's
it's like low key. That's low key how I felt about Keeper of Night. I was like, I know not everybody's gonna like this book, but like I like eat that kind of storytelling up. So I was like, yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, my thing was like they got a random side character that doesn't do anything, and
That's
he's
right.
like, "Oh, it's a little fox boy," and I'm like, I'm over this.
That's right. That's right.
So you got to know what you like in a book, and then you kind of know how it's all going to turn out in the end.
True. How many times can I say true?
Also, my computer's locking down right now, so someone else on the show. I don't know what's happening. It's my computer's dying.
Well, I don't have anything else to add.
All right. So if you like this video, give it a like for us. Comment down below your favorite character from.
Oh no, Rachel froze.
Sometime below the seas. She really. What's weird is I can hear her.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? My thing's locking. It's. I don't know why my computer is killing itself.
This is actually a pretty good screenshot of you, honestly.
Lord,
okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot right now.
Oh wait.
There we go.
Okay. I just want to read this comment really quick. For me, 3 and 4 stars are good, and the only difference is 3 stars, I'm on the fence on reading a sequel. 4 stars, I'm buying that sequel. I would read more from this world. I think so too. I think with like the end of it, I was like, I would love to know more about the girl who's like with the death god.
Same.
Like that would be yeah, that would be a vibe. And like I wouldn't put it past Axie Oh to like write that story. Like I'm seeing more and more of Axie Oh's work kind of like floating around, and I'm realizing she's got a pretty good backlist. So you never know what you're gonna get. But yeah. I think that's also a good way to think of 3 stars, because in the past like I've thought of a 3-star as just kind of being like mediocre, like a mediocre read. Um, but I think that's also like discounting, I guess, the relevance of like a 1-star. So like I like this kind of version where it's like, yeah, I'm on the fence about it. I probably won't read the sequel, but like it was fine. Whereas like, a 4, you're like, yeah, it was pretty good. I'll continue.
Okay, I'm probably gonna raise my rating then, because I would buy the book and read about Hiyori.
Not us converting
Stop
everyone. We did it, everybody. We did it. I'm a fool. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is off topic of the book, but I have been thinking about ratings this year. And like, I don't think I've ever rated really anything a 1-star. And I'm like, the 1-star needs to be used.
Yeah.
Now I'm rethinking my whole rating system. This is off topic, but if y'all have a good rating system, drop it down below and let me know.
It
'Cause I'm
is
thinking
really
about,
crazy how your ratings change, like, the more books you read,
yeah,
because I feel like 2020 Nicole would rate, like, everything, like, 4 and 5 stars, and now
mhm,
I'm being a lot more picky about it.
right. Well, because you don't have time to like read everything. So, that's like also one of the reasons why you watch booktubers, right? Because you want to know what books are worth your time, like in this busy day in the life
Yeah.
that we have. Um, so yeah, Rachel's locked out. She said she's dumb. I don't know why she's saying that, but I think maybe her computer died. I'm not sure. She's not backstage, so don't know what's going on with her. But yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty good book. Oh, wait, she said, I just thought my computer was plugged in already and it wasn't, and had a whole existential dread about needing to get a new computer. Well, you do need a new computer. So that's
Yeah.
maybe this is your sign. Hmm. Um, but yeah, overall, I think that's the vibe.
Yeah.
Any
Well,
last minute questions, comments, concerns, or poetry? No?
here, let
Okay.
me just think of a haiku really quick. I'm just kidding.
I was like, if you do this, you're so smart. You are so smart. I mean, not that you're already not smart, but you know what I'm saying. 5 stars is perfection. I have to be madly in love with the book to the point I'm buying all merch in the entire series. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's also why I rate things like a 4.5 a lot. Because I'm like, it was really good,
But not quite there.
but not quite a 5. Like I only have like a handful of 5s. Obviously, every single Ice Planet Barbarians that's ever been written into existence.
You called it.
But but like other than that, obviously, because that's a little biased rating, I would say probably. Not even biased. Like I have a good time with them books. Let me just stop myself right
How
now.
many are there now?
Oh, probably 50.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
need to get on that.
probably 50 because they're like all the different series. But this is not an Ice Planets, chat.
Rachel just posted a haiku.
What did she say? Here's my haiku. This book was a joy. Christine will buy it right now. I guess 3.5. 3.5? Is she rated a 3.5? I was hearing a 4.
She rated it a 3 before in the beginning, so upgrade.
Okay, upgrade. Everybody got a little upgrade. Okay, there you go. I was like, you were listening in class. I was not. Typical. Anyway, my point is 5s are few and far between, so but y'all know the 5-star feeling. And while
The
this book
Cruel
did give me
Prince.
joy, when the stolen air comes out, we have to have like a huge buddy read. Anyway,
Yeah. Yes,
I'm like,
please.
I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. She's posted an excerpt. Yo, I can't talk. Please excuse me. But she posted an excerpt on her little Instagram page. I was like, we're really about to be rooting for what's his name. I can't. Oak. I was like, what is his name? What was your
Have
last
you
5?
read her other recent book?
Yeah, Book of Night.
Is that her most recent book that was released?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you clapping your hands like that? Are you reading
I'm
that?
excited.
Oh, for Oak.
Yeah.
And it like looks like The Cruel Prince too. I'm like, wow, we're really just in for a treat. I hope it's
Yeah.
good. I hope it's good because I know she wrote that series so long ago. What's it gonna be like, Nicole? I don't know. Anyway, I'm nervous. So
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely Cruel Prince. I think David Bad rated the last 2 books 5 stars because like that made me cry.
I haven't read that yet, but it's on my list for sure.
It will really just rip you apart, man. It'll rip you apart. You'll be like, I love these characters. What's happening? I want to go. I gotta get out of here.
I think my last 5-star was Jade Legacy because I cried like a
Ooh!
baby.
Still
That one
thinking
hurt.
that I'm like really about to cry right now.
Okay, anyways, let's wrap this up.
I forgot I literally have blocked that from my mind because of that whole entire book. That book ended so well.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean that series ended so well. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna bill Miss Fonda for my therapy bill. Daughter of Smoke and Bone and its novella were my most recent 5 stars. Daughter of Smoke and Bone, that's pretty good. I liked that one. I think my favorite was the second from that trilogy. Because the end got a little wacky. And then also, like, the end of the first book was such a crazy plot twist. I was like, what's going on? You haven't read that one, have you?
Mm-mm.
I was like, it's wild. I haven't read the novella, though. It's basically like if angels were, like, trying to take over the world, basically. That's, like, a very loose premise.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a star-crossed lovers type thing. I've got the books. I can send them to you if you want to read them. Anyway, we don't have to talk about this on a live. Yeah, guys. You know, Nicole, do you have anything? Is this the last thing for Studio Ghibli?
Mm-hmm.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
We're just, guys, we do this a lot. So anyway, yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah.
Hope you had fun. Studio Ghibli was a blast. I think all the relevant information is going to be linked down below. Out of all the books that you read for Studio Ghibli, why don't you go ahead and like comment your favorite one? Your favorite one from last month. What was your favorite one? And yeah, that's really all I got. So I'm gonna end this. Okay. But thanks so much for watching, guys. If you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Nicole's giving us the sign off. We are literally see you guys later. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye.